The Demi Barding, a fascinating prototype mobile suit and the latest addition to Burian's Demi series. This mobile suit wasn't designed for mass production. It's a concept model, crafted specifically to push the boundaries of testing and development. And today, I have the absolute joy of building and reviewing this beautiful model kit. I can't wait to dive into all the details and share this experience with you. Let's talk about the unboxing experience for this kit. As expected from the Witch from Mercury line, the box art is absolutely stunning, clean, vibrant, and eye-catching. It's the kind of box you'll want to display just as much as the finished kit itself. Let's take a peek inside. Here's what you'll find. A compact instruction manual that's easy to follow. 5 plastic runners, 4 crafted from standard plastic, and 1 made of clear plastic for the beam sabers. Oh, and there's a small sticker sheet included for color correction. These stickers will cover some minor missing colors on the top and sides of the shoulders. A pretty standard practice for high-grade kits to help keep costs down. The kit boasts a total of 123 parts, though you'll only use 118 of them, as 5 are extras. That's still slightly above average for HG kits, and it's always exciting to have just a bit more to work with. As for color separation, the kit offers 4 distinct colors, which is enough to give it a polished, well-balanced look without needing heavy customization. And here's the extra fun part. The kit includes a wire to connect the Baori pack when it's separated from the main unit and operating independently. This clever addition really makes the kit feel like a 2-in-1 experience. Every single kit I build gets my full attention. Nubs are carefully trimmed and sanded. It must be panel lined to perfection. And of course, I finish it all off with a beautiful top coat. Why do I go through all this effort? Because I want to show you these kits in their absolute best form. Every little detail deserves to shine. And by putting in the time and care, I can truly bring out the magic hidden in the design. This way, you'll get a clear picture of just how incredible a kit can look when built with love and attention to detail. I don't believe in rushing my builds just to push out more content. My goal is to create the best looking models possible. So you'll always get a review that reflects the highest quality and attention to detail. Each build is a labor of love, crafted to showcase the kit at its very best. And finally, here it is. This mobile suit deserves all the respect. I absolutely love how it looks. It's so different from all the sleek Gundam mobile suits we're used to, and that's exactly why I'm obsessed with it. The details in its parts are fantastic, perfectly capturing that robust prototype vibe of the mobile suit. The building experience? Honestly, it was mostly great, but there's one thing I have to mention. Some of the panel lines are a bit finicky and needed rescribing. That's a bit of a bummer because it might make the build feel a little stressful for some builders. If you're not comfortable with rescribing tools, this could be a small challenge to watch out for. Aside from that, the assembly process went smoothly, and the instruction manual is super easy to follow, which is always a big plus. The kit doesn't come with as many panel lines as others I've built, so panel lining is still an absolute must to really bring out those details. The good news? The kit does a great job hiding most nub marks, though you might still need to clean up a few here and there. That said, there are a couple of challenges to keep in mind. The articulation can be a bit tricky when you're trying to pose it. It's not a hand grenade, don't worry about it falling apart, but you might run into some stiffness or limitations with the arms and legs. Once you get it into the pose you want though, it's rock solid. It stays put and holds the pose beautifully without any problems. One last thing to consider. The kit is a bit back heavy because of the backpack. It can stand on its own, which is impressive, but if you're going for some dynamic action poses, I definitely recommend using a stand. It makes a world of difference and lets you really show off its potential. On a final note before we dive into the scoring process, let me say this. A matte top coat is almost a requirement for this kit. It really brings out those mechanical details, making them pop beautifully. Plus, it does a fantastic job of covering any light scratches, especially on the sandy yellow parts. These areas are particularly prone to showing marks, but with a matte top coat, those imperfections are completely hidden. Another big win for the matte top coat is how it helps blend the included color correcting stickers with the rest of the kit. Honestly, these stickers are really big and pretty ugly, in my opinion, but the top coat makes them far less noticeable, giving the finished model a much more cohesive and polished look. It's such a simple step, but it makes a world of difference. As I mentioned earlier, the kit builds gracefully, with no issues at all during the assembly process. That said, there are a couple of negatives worth mentioning. First, the color correcting stickers. They're big and, honestly, pretty ugly. They really stand out and take away from the overall look of the kit. Second, there's the issue with some of the limbs. They tend to detach very easily, and while I'm generally pretty forgiving about this, because I review kits as model kits and not as toys, and it's expected that parts might come off during posing, this particular kit takes it to another level, because the arms and legs can detach from the articulations with barely any effort. That said, once you pop them back in place, they're solid again, which redeems the kit a bit in my eyes. Still, this is a frustrating quirk that's hard to ignore. Considering these issues, I'm giving this kit an 80 for model quality. It's good, but there's definitely room for improvement. Like most high-grade kits I've built, this one is no exception when it comes to dealing with nubs. There aren't any undergated parts, so you need to be careful with the nub removal process. The good news? The nubs are strategically placed, so they don't end up being as intrusive as you might see on other kits. Once the build is complete, I counted about 10 visible nub marks in total, and honestly, they're very well hidden. From a normal viewing distance, they're pretty hard to spot, which is a huge plus. However, there are 2 nub marks that almost made me lose my mind. They're located on the backpack weapons, and let me tell you, they're horrific. No matter what you do, there's just no way to fully clean them up. It's such a shame, but unfortunately, that's just part of the kit's design. Luckily, they're on the back, so it's not something you'll notice too much unless you're looking for it. Given the number of visible nub marks compared with the total of parts, this kit scores 92 in this category. There were a total of 13 mold lines that needed to be removed from this kit. Unfortunately, I didn't document these during the build, but don't worry, I'll make sure to do that next time. Most of the mold lines were concentrated on the arms and the backpack. And let me tell you, it's absolutely necessary to remove them. If you leave them as is, they'll stick out like a sore thumb and make the kit look pretty bad. Now, while these mold lines weren't particularly difficult to remove, it did take a fair bit of time and effort to get them cleaned up properly. It's one of those tasks that's a bit tedious, but so worth it for the final result. Considering this, I'm giving the kit an 89 in the mold lines category. It's not perfect, but with a little patience, it can look amazing. This kit does an okay job in the panel lines department. Most of them worked without any issues, but there were 15 individual panel lines that had to be rescribed. Without rescribing, Tamiya accent color just wouldn't flow properly. And let me tell you, rescribing panel lines can be tedious, and if you're not careful, it can lead to mistakes and frustration. It definitely added extra time to the overall building process, which is something to keep in mind. The main problem areas were definitely the shoulders, backpack, and weapons. For these reasons, the kit scores an 87 in the panel line category. One additional note about the panel lines. For the yellow and beige parts, I chose to use dark brown instead of black for the panel lining. Black felt way too harsh and overwhelmed the details, while dark brown provided a more subtle and refined look. It really enhanced the overall appearance of the kit without making it feel too busy. It's a small adjustment, but it made a big difference in the final result. While the kit does a great job recreating the original design, it does have a few parts with incorrect colors. These issues are mainly found in the shoulders, specifically the tubes connecting the shoulder armor to the thrusters. For this build, I decided not to paint those details so you can clearly see the difference. The good news is that these missing details can be easily fixed with a bit of hand painting, which I'll definitely do later. Unfortunately, leaving these details out does impact the overall look of the kit. For that reason, I'm giving it a 96 in color accuracy. It's so close to a perfect 100, which makes it even more of a shame. With just a little extra attention to those missing colors, it could have been flawless. The kit's height to its head is 11.9 centimeters, which in 1/44th scale translates to 17.14 meters. When compared to the data from Gundam.fandom, which lists the original height as 16.9 meters, the accuracy is incredible. This kit earns an outstanding 98 in the model scale category for its spot-on proportions. Now, let's talk about my personal score for this kit. Just a quick reminder, this is my own experience, and that's why it's such an important part of the review. It reflects how I felt throughout the building process, and your experience might be completely different. I'll admit, this is a kit I wasn't super excited about at first, but as I started building it, it completely grew on me. Once the pieces started coming together, its real beauty began to shine. It definitely has its flaws, but overall, it's a gorgeous kit. The design is so unique, totally breaking the mold in a way that feels fresh and exciting. And let me tell you, this kit really shines once it's top coated. It makes all the difference. One of the standout features for me was the Baori pack. It has its own personality and feels almost like a separate model kit. Together with the main unit, they create an amazing showpiece that's sure to stand out in any collection. With all of that in mind, I'm giving this kit an impressive 90 in the personal score. The ugly stickers, color accuracy issues, and some problems with the joints definitely affected the score, but not enough to bring it below 90. Despite its flaws, this is still one of the better kits I've built. It's a joy to put together, and I absolutely recommend it for anyone looking for something unique and memorable to add to their collection. Here's the final breakdown. Model quality, 80. Nubs placement, 92. Mold lines, 89. Panel lines, 87. Color accuracy, 96. Model scale, 99. Personal score, 90. The high-grade Demi Barding is an impressive kit that brings a lot to the table. From its unique and bold design to the fun and engaging building process, it truly stands out as a refreshing entry in the high-grade lineup. The kit successfully captures the prototype feel of the mobile suit, blending innovation with familiar design elements. Despite these drawbacks, the kit shines as both a display piece and a rewarding build. It may require extra effort with nub removal, mold line cleanup, and panel lining, but the final result is absolutely worth it. With its robust design, clever features, and undeniable charm, the Demi Barding earns an overall score of 90 out of 100. While it's not perfect, it's one of the better kits I've built, and a fantastic addition to any collection. Highly recommended for builders who enjoy a bit of a challenge and want something truly unique on their shelf. I hope you enjoyed this review as much as I enjoyed putting it together. If you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. It's the best way to support the channel and help it grow. These videos take a lot of time and effort, from building to recording and editing, so every bit of support truly means a lot to me. Got a kit you'd love to see reviewed? Let me know in the comments. I'm always excited to hear your suggestions. And now I'll leave you with some stunning B-roll shots to showcase this kit in all its glory. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.